ready to roll? 93.9 The River, I'm Jazz Tupelo, live in the Riversound Cafe with Suzanne Vega. Hey,
Hi.
Suzanne.
Hi.
Welcome back to Northampton.
Thank you.
So, how was Emily Dickinson's house?
It was so nice. It was really lovely. I can't believe how many times I've been here in Northampton and not gone to Emily Dickinson's house. So I was very happy to go, even though my crew and band kept asking about, and kept making comments about her legs and her what was policewoman? I'm like, no, that's Angie.
Right.
Not Emily.
Right. And
I have to educate them now. So.
yeah, so you're gonna start wearing a long white dress and
Well,
closing yourself up in a
you know,
house.
It would probably be black.
Uh-huh.
I tend to wear more black than white in my life, but yeah, of course I think about that.
All right. So you're playing at the Iron Horse tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen you at various venues across Northampton. So, but you've played the Iron Horse before, of course.
Oh, a million times.
Yeah. So it's always is it like a little homecoming sometimes when you're playing a venue that you've played several times before?
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, the Iron Horse is, it's very nostalgic for me because I played here for years before I got my first record deal, and so it's one of those places that has a really deep root for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember coming here, trying out new material, trying out Small Blue Thing, I think probably for the first time, writing in my journal, sitting in the corner, and it just is a very rich place for me. So.
Well, can we hear something from you right now?
Yeah. Well, I could do Small Blue Thing since I mentioned it. Let's do that.
I would love that.
Okay. Today I am a small thing, like a marble or an eye, with my knees against my mouth. I am perfectly round. I am watching you. I am cold against your skin. You are perfectly reflected. I am lost inside your pocket. I am lost against your fingers. I am falling down the stairs. I am skipping on the sidewalk. I am thrown against the sky. I am raining down in pieces. I am scattering like light, scattering like light, scattering like light. Today I am a small blue thing, made of china, made of glass. I am cool and smooth and curious. I never go. I am turning in your hand, turning in your hand. I am cold against your skin. You are perfectly reflected. I am lost inside your pocket. I am lost against your fingers. I am falling down the stairs. I am skipping on the sidewalk. I am thrown against the sky. I am raining down in pieces. I am scattering like light, scattering like light, scattering like light. Today china made of glass. I am cool and smooth and curious. I never blind. I am turning in your hand, turning in your hand, turning in your hand. Small blue thing, turning in your hand.
Suzanne Vega live in the Riversound Cafe with Small Blue Thing from the first album, which, as I said, was a very important part of my music appreciation as a teenager. And so you've been going back over all your old songs and re-recording them for new projects, is that correct?
Yeah, I actually haven't started doing that yet. I just have been figuring out what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing this in the fall. I've been on tour pretty much since for a long time. I think we had 2 months off this year in between promoting the last album and then just coming out for summer touring. So it's still kind of in the idea stage. But yeah, that's the next step, is to re-record a group of songs from all the different albums. Just me and the acoustic guitar, and then putting them out on the website as a sort of a little intimate kind of gift for the fans, and just a way of reestablishing, the back songs.
Right. And it's interesting because I know you've been writing for the New York Times blog.
Yeah.
So I've been, reading those for a while, and there was the one recently about, what was it, the two-hit wonder?
Yes.
And it was very funny because, when I think of Suzanne Vega, I'm thinking of songs like Small Blue Thing and Marlena on the Wall, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then she had these hits too.
Had those hits, right,
Which I
that's
kind
true.
of, but I think it seems like most people remember you for those, but you were saying that, there were so many others that could have been hits. Which ones would you have?
Oh, there were songs that I had written thinking that they would be or might be. Most of them, interestingly enough, I can't really play on the acoustic guitar, and they're probably not the ones I'm going to be re-recording for the acoustic favorites. That's what I'm calling the new series. A song like No Cheap Thrill or Book of Dreams were songs that, to me, seemed to have that classic form and the kind of feeling to them that could have been sort of, they were meant to be pop songs.
Right.
But I guess radio and the record company, the world at large, didn't feel the same way.
Yeah.
But that's
What's wrong
fine.
with that?
I mean, the thing is, you write your songs, and I've had an amazing career, and so I don't know what to say, really.
So how did you get involved in writing for the New York Times blog? I've always thought of you as a very literary person anyway, so.
Well, the interesting thing is that I can't remember when this started. I guess in the early, I can't remember what year this came out, but they contacted me, I guess 7 or 8 years ago, about writing, when Dave Van Ronk passed away. I was asked to write a small article for the New York Times just about that. So I wrote it and I handed it on time, and they started to ask me for other articles from time to time. For example, they asked me, did I have anything interesting going on in my life at that point, and I had just gotten my driver's license.
Oh wow!
And I was like in my early 40s at that point, and I'd just gotten my driver's license. And they said, "Well, that's probably an interesting story." And I wrote up the whole thing, and I handed it in, and they gave me 2 whole pages, which,
Wow.
as you know, the New York Times is huge. So I've been writing. I'm usually just sitting at home doing what I'm doing, and I'll get a little email or a little phone call saying, "Would you like to write about X, Y, or Z?" So it was one of those things. I was sitting around, and they said, "Would you like to write about the creative process for this blog that we're starting? We're asking a number of different songwriters, and we'd love it if you could do it." So I really enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed writing the last one, which was about Luca and how Luca became a hit. And how it was sort of engineered that way, how it was sort of planned to be that. It wasn't people say it was a kind of a fluke, but, in reality it was years being set up so that it would be the radio and be the hit that it became.
Right, I love the you talking about the argument that you had with was it the
My manager.
right, about
On
the
Fierstein at the time, yeah.
the music in the 60s.
Whether songs with a social message were actually effective.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I said no, they weren't.
Right.
And he argued with me that they were, and it was big, passionate, argument. And he really, in his heart and soul, felt that they were not only effective but needed. And he felt that song really addressed a need. And in retrospect, he was right, and I was not right.
Well, I think you were right too in that, but you were addressing a social message with the personal story, which I think was really connected people to it. So I think it was a good marriage of those things.
Of those ideas, yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm working on the Tom's Diner one, which has taken me just ages because it's such a windy, twisty story. It started off something simple, and then it got remixed in 1990, and then it became a big hit, and then it was also used to refine the MP3, which is now hugely, widely known.
Right, you're the mother of the MP3.
The mother of the MP3. So there's so many details to get right, and links here and there, and cover versions, and what they call interpolations of Tom's Diners. So I've been struggling for about 2 months to finish writing that blog, but it's definitely there. Maybe it'll come out in September sometime.
Right, you can check out the New York Times blog, check out Suzanne's writings, and then of course
it's called Measure for Measure.
you can check her out tonight at the Iron Horse.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just got back from Europe, and
Yeah.
you were, I'm very jealous, you got to meet the police, Stuart and Andy of the police.
Yeah, I would be jealous of myself. Yes, that was great. That was really fantastic.
Oh.
It was great to see them in such great form, and they're just as powerful. I never saw them back then, but I was a huge fan and had all their records and all that
Same
stuff.
here.
So it was a very good day.
Yeah, it makes me happy when I see other musicians getting excited about meeting musicians, as I do, like when you were talking about meeting Robin Hitchcock, and
Yeah.
and he was here not too long ago too, and I just felt all tingly as well.
So yeah, if you want to read what she's talking about, it's on the website SuzanneVega.com, where I have a blog and I put a picture. So that's what she's talking about, the pictures with Robin Hitchcock and with the police. So you have to check out SuzanneVega.com.
I live vicariously through Suzanne Vega. All right, so you're playing tonight at the Iron Horse. Can we hear something else before you have to head on over?
Yeah, well, I figured why don't I do the original version of Tom's Diner, the unadorned, undecorated, unremixed.
Great.
Just plain Tom's. I am sitting in the morning at the diner on the corner. I am waiting at the counter for the man to pour the coffee, and he fills it only halfway, and before I even argue, he is looking out the window at somebody coming in. It is always nice to see you, says the man behind the counter to the woman who has come in. She is shaking her umbrella, and I look the other way as they are kissing their hellos, and I'm pretending not to see them, and instead I pour the milk. I open up the paper. There's a story of an actor who had died while he was drinking. It was no one I had heard of, and I'm turning to the horoscope and looking for the funnies when I'm feeling someone watching me, and so I raise my head. There's a woman on the outside looking inside. Does she see me? No, she does not really see me, 'cause she sees her own reflection, and I'm trying not to notice that she's hitching up her skirt, and while she's straightening her stockings, her hair has gotten wet. Oh, this rain, it will continue through the morning as I'm listening to the bells of the cathedral. I am thinking of your voice and of the midnight picnic once upon a time before the rain began. And I finish up my coffee, and it's time to catch the train.
mother of the MP3, Suzanne Vega, with Tom's Diner. So the new project, we could see it starting next year, the acoustic.
Yes, I think so, unless I manage to finish one of the volumes before then. But I think we're going to take our time with it, make sure that it's all set up the right way. So right now we're thinking about releasing it in the spring of next year.
Okay.
But people should, drop by the blog and, get information on the website.
And what's the address for the website again is?
SuzanneVega.com.
There you go, easy to remember.
Yes.
And at the Iron Horse tonight, as of last week, there were a smattering of tickets left. So I don't know, you can call the Northampton box office, find out if there's still some available, or show up tonight.
Well, I'm playing with a trio. I'm playing as a trio. So it's myself on guitar, Doug Yole on drums, and Mike Pizzelia on bass. So it's the first time I've toured with a trio. So that's been really cool, really interesting sort of arrangement. Not likely, not heard before.
Great.
So yeah.
All right, so
know
it should
about
be
that.
a fantastic show. We're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for stopping by, Suzanne. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck with the rest of the tour.
Thanks.
All right. Sounded great.
Good.